Why study engineering? That's a good question, and I'm going to try and answer that question. So, hi, I'm Dawie van der Neven, and I'm an engineer. I'm a lecturer at Stellenbosch University to research in biomedical engineering, and I mostly teach within the Department of Mechanical and Mechatronic Engineering. So, why would you study engineering? Well, actually, the question is why would you not study engineering? That's my question. So, I would say you study engineering because you are curious about the world and the universe, just everything outside. And aren't we all just curious about the world? I would say that's within our nature to ask questions and be curious. And so basically, engineering, what engineering is, according to me, is it teaches you the basic equations for the world and the universe. Your basic fundamental, can I say, gears of how the world works and how it all works together. Your basic rules and yeah, let's just go with the rules. So you're equipped with an understanding of how the world works, how the whole universe works. So it's about knowledge. It's about knowledge of everything out there and the universe, and then using this knowledge to solve problems, to apply this in the real world and solve problems. So basically, engineers are problem solvers. That's what I always say. If you write one thing down today, it's engineers are problem solvers. We solve problems. We learn to solve problems. And we solve problems to make an impact in the world. We want to leave this world, this lovely world we live in, a better place for the next generation. So engineers, they're curious about the world. They like to get knowledge. It's all about knowledge and information. Learn as much as you can, and then use all the skills and knowledge you've learned to make an impact. We all want to make an impact in the world. And so we want to make an impact and change. We want to change the world, make it a better place than when we were born. We want to leave the world a better place than what was given to us. And so global warming, that's actually a good place to start. So engineers, get on that. So it's about being curiosity, and also liking challenges. We want to be stimulated intellectually. We want to be faced with new challenges. There's always something to discover and figure out and solve problems, like I said. And you'll see that engineers are not only confined to factories and mines anymore. You'll easily find engineers, either they are the head of, or somewhere at the top of big financial firms and banks. In retail, car manufacturing, it's endless. To take hospitals even, all of that, because engineers solve problems. We solve problems. That's what we do. We have the knowledge, the skills to solve problems and to make an impact wherever we are. And it's a really fun and fulfilling thing to do. So I always joke and say, if engineers invented accounting and bookkeeping, it would have been a lot easier. Engineers can basically do anything, I'm telling you now. So there's no limits to what you can do. You learn the basic fundamentals of how the world works, and then you apply that and you solve problems. So we want to make the world a better place. That's what it boils down to. Make a real impact, change lives, change the world. So take a second and think, what makes us different from other animals? Okay, of course there's a lot of differences, but one of the major ones that stands out, okay, we'll all agree that we believe we We have we are more intelligent. We believe that larger brain, and okay, of course that's true. And but I think what it all boils down to, what separates us from we are also animals, of course, but what makes us different and the reason for the advancement we've made as humans all comes down to language. Language, verbal or oral, it's about the transfer of information and knowledge. Transfer of information and knowledge. So think about this for a second. Every new generation, we don't have to reinvent the wheel. We don't need to discover fire again to cook our food. No, we can transfer this information from the one generation to the next, from father to son to grandson. We can transfer the knowledge. So it's all about knowledge and information, and that's what engineers do. We like to learn, get new knowledge, more information, and that equips us to better survive and to be able to build on the previous knowledge. That's what separates humans from probably all animals. Think about this for a second. That when a horse gets born, it falls down out of the mother. It can stand up on four legs and start running around. It sort of has the instinct to know what to do next, and it's mostly born with most of probably I'm not sure, I'm guessing now, but the neural circuits for the rest of its life. Imagine maybe a fish. I don't think a fish stays with the parents very long, if at all. Whereas humans, we can stay with our parents care for us for a big chunk of our lives. You can probably get on pretty well on your own from, let's say, 16 up. I'm sure, and I know there's people that's out of the home for other reasons before that, but let's say 16, 18 and older. I mean, I know people that still stay with their mothers and they're 40 years old. So, and that's because we need to learn. There's so much information we pass down to our kids. I don't have kids yet, but hopefully one day I can also pass this down to a kid. We pass down information. It's all about knowledge, information. You see where I'm going. And engineers, we learn information and then we use the skills and knowledge to do new stuff, invent new stuff, figure out new stuff, figure out the universe. Why are we here? These fundamental questions we ask and we need to answer. And that's basically what engineering is all about. While I'm saying this now, I've come to think of it, I don't see why you won't study engineering. Why do anything else? It's in our nature, this drive for information, for knowledge, to ask these questions and to learn information and then to build on that for the next generation and continue with this evolution, this human evolution. And this is it just makes sense. It feels so natural to do this, and basically that's what engineers do. That's what you do every day. There's new challenges. You learn new information and you apply it and you solve problems. In essence, it's about solving problems, information, knowledge. It's sort of, like I said, it just feels so natural. Wow. Right? Doesn't it? Think about it for a second. That's why we study engineering. To learn and to use the knowledge. And then to use the knowledge to improve our lives, to make an impact, to change others' lives. That's what it's about. It's almost the purpose of life, when you say. One more point to maybe keep in mind. Iron Man. Tony Stark, I always say He's almost the perfect superhero. The perfect superhero because his superpower is engineering. Okay, he's got this, I don't know, power source in his chest, but forget about that for a second. He's an inventor. His superpower is being an engineer. And why I say that's the coolest superhero out there is because that's within everyone's grasp. We can all become engineers. It's about asking questions, learning and using the knowledge, inventing new stuff because we know how the world works. We are all Tony Starks. We can all be that superhero. So it's Tony Stark's Iron Man. He doesn't really have special abilities. His special ability is being an engineer. Wow, profound.